let's talk about narcissism. This comes in quite a bit when I am channeling for my clients. The topic of narcissism, a lot of times it's either between my client has a narcissistic partner or has had narcissistic partners, or the parents primarily were narcissists. But I have seen it also with children. So older children of clients. So what I see with narcissism when I'm channeling for people, in response to Rockstar, who says, you mentioned narcissism, and I'm very interested in what you've channeled around that. I'm married to an alcoholic narcissist, so that's been fun. I'm sure it's not been fun. What I see when I channel is a couple of things that come through constantly. Narcissists, the narcissism comes from unhealed childhood trauma, from what I've seen when I've channeled. Okay, so by the time someone has become a narcissist, they have closed themselves off to feeling, to empathy, to emotions, and higher vibration emotions, being able to love, etc., because of a protection. Basically it's a subconscious protection mechanism. Okay, so that's something that from what I've seen can start to be healed when you go back and you heal those wounds. Now, of course, you have to be open to doing that, right? But the other thing I see is that narcissists are, in my experience, always paired up with empaths. So an empath, or someone who is an advanced soul, who's here to bring love, who's here to, to bring empathy, I guess, they will either be born to narcissistic parents, or they will pair up with narcissists in their life, or both, because they're here to learn how to serve, but not from a place of an empty cup, to use their voice. Sometimes they lack self-worth or self-love, and they serve others because it makes them feel good to be able to do that at the expense of themselves a lot of times. So if this isn't healed, if whatever your soul, if you're paired up with a narcissist or raised by narcissists, if you're surrounded by narcissists, your soul is trying to get your attention. You have chosen this for yourself to learn something, to explore something. And they're reminding me here, these groups of beings that I channel. I'm a channel. I channel groups of cosmic beings that are here to help us on our human journey. It's always so beautiful and supportive, sharing what you're here to do, what your soul's intending for you in this lifetime, the reasons for your experiences, your soul contracts with family, partners, parents. It's always so beautiful and supportive. But they're reminding me that when you pair up with a narcissist, when somebody's paired up with a narcissist, it's because their soul wants them to explore or learn something, and not just for themselves, but in order to serve the collective. So maybe a soul wants to pair up with a narcissist in this life in order to learn to use their voice, learn to set boundaries, start filling their own cup, nurturing themselves, so they can teach other people to do the same, or they can teach other people to heal, or help other people heal their wounds. But in order to do that, they have to still start moving through those things themselves and learn those things themselves. So what I've seen here, not just with narcissists and empaths, but just in general, period, is that when there's something that you want changed in your life, a big thing like this, like I would imagine, a lot of people who come to me with challenges with narcissists will say, they don't feel like they're seen or heard or loved. Their feelings aren't welcomed. Things are really difficult, and that's because their soul's trying to get their attention, and trying to teach them something. And by definition, your reality cannot change. Your partner cannot change until you've changed and seen the thing that your soul wants to get your attention. So it could be, I see this a lot, learning to use your voice, setting boundaries, self-love, self-worth, right? Learning to identify in that you maybe are lacking self-love. Maybe it's probably started in childhood, right? So we choose to pair up with narcissists in our lives in order to reflect those things to us. So a lot of times what I see with clients is they're hoping and praying that their partner, their narcissist, will change. And what comes in every time is, by definition, they cannot change because their soul is using the narcissist to get their attention, to shift and change something in their life. So by definition, the narcissist cannot change. Now, once the person on the other side of the narcissist, the empath, etc., does the change, identifies my self-worth, my self-love needs to be addressed. I need to work on that. I need to set boundaries. I need to leave the relationship. That is what then will create the opportunity for the narcissist to change if they choose to. But while they're in the relationship, the narcissist can't change until the person who's in the relationship does the shifting and changing on themselves, because that's why they have that narcissist there. That's why the soul chose this. So I see this all the time where sometimes people get to they get so upset that they haven't made the changes in 10, 20, 30, 40 years sometimes of relationships with their parents or partners, and they start to feel like a victim. Why am I always giving and not getting anything in return? Like, people just take. They're always calling me when they need something. They always know I'm gonna give, I'm gonna serve, but no one's there for me. No one's helping me, right? Well, that's by definition, because you are not serving yourself. So your soul is going to reflect to you the wound that you're here to heal. And then when you do that, you'll start to see your reality change. And I've seen that many times. The clients that I channel for, who put into action the guidance that comes through to them, not just with narcissism, but other challenges that they're experiencing in their life, they will report back that their life has completely shifted. The people are showing up for them in a totally different way. The next time they see the person that's difficult, they're responding to them in totally different. It's because you are now aligning to a timeline where that version of yourself exists and a different version of them exists now, because you are operating from a different place. So our souls sign up for these things. So if you, Rockstar, or anybody else listening to this, feels like they're in a relationship with a narcissist, understand that you did sign up for this. Now, a lot of times I see the narcissists as maybe they might not be as advanced souls, so patience and empathy is important, but not at the expense of your mental, emotional, spiritual health, physical health, right? That's the point, is to set the boundaries and use your voice. But if you or Rockstar or anyone else is experiencing a relationship with a narcissist, just understand that your soul chose to experience this. Sometimes I see people who've only dated narcissists in their life. And it's because they're still not learning the thing. They still haven't identified the thing that their soul wants them to learn. And this could be after lifetimes of this. They could have experienced this over many lifetimes. But what I see quite often is, it's not just for them, it's for how they're meant to serve the collective. So once they start making different choices, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And that's what happens. When you start to change, then you'll start to see different results. And then from that place, you are called to serve the collective. So I hope this helps. Let me know your questions and comments. Remember, everything in our life that we have that is coming into our life through people and experiences, our soul has designed for us in order to experience what our soul wants us to experience. Evolve, understand certain themes, understanding patience, empathy, again, self-love, self-worth, whatever the thing is that our soul wants to explore in this lifetime, not just for our soul's involvement, but in order to serve the collective, we are going to bring things into our life to illuminate to us what those things are. So we can't expect our people or reality to change until we identify what it is that they've signed up to show us in our own life. How are they partnering with us from a soul perspective in order to help our soul in what it came to do in this lifetime? So I hope that helps. Drop your questions and comments, and I'll see you in the next video.